when given the choice. I'll take the German car every time.
Yeah.
This week on That Car Show, we are back as a crew show. We talk about Arizona Car Week, sharing some of the experiences during the week. I talk about getting my hands on a Lucid Gravity. Spoiler alert, it didn't suck. Lucid Gravity. We also talk a little bit about the future of Tesla and where Tesla is going. Just when you thought we hadn't had enough lists, we have a new list. This is the mid list. Apparently all the young people have stopped saying it, so we're allowed to now. All that and a whole lot more on this week's That Car Show. Welcome to this week's That Car Show, and we're back with a cruise show. Before we get started, I think we need to wish special someone a happy birthday. So, Mrs. Barkey Sr., many happy returns. We hope you've had a lovely day. We hope Michael has cooked you breakfast in bed and had a wonderful day.
That's right. We'll spare you by not singing, but we hope you've had an amazing day.
Yes, happy birthday. Thanks, Dan.
Yeah, how are you guys doing?
Happy to be here. Great to see you guys. Brian, how about you?
Yeah, doing okay, hanging in there. Is anyone having a great year so far?
I feel like it's a mix, right?
Okay. I think
Definitely.
Meekum's having a great year.
Yeah, Meekum's having a wonderful year, aren't
Right.
they?
Yeah.
Our good friends at Haggerty shared some information today by former guest of the show, John. But
Hey,
he
John.
was comparing year on year. And last year, Meekum's total sales at the Kissimmee auction were $215 million
Okay.
this year. And obviously, there were some big hitters this year, but it was double. It was $420 million. Assuming everyone's going to pay their bills. But
Right.
yeah, I mean, a wonderful year
Watch
for
We
this
didn't hear it
space on
here.
that.
right? But generally, looking at these stats, they're comparing Arizona Car Week and Meekum, and everyone is up year on year, which is good news, I guess, for the automotive used car markets.
I mean, that's what they always want to see. I mean, if you can double your profits, you're doing okay.
Someone's getting a bonus this year.
Right.
Yeah, but good news, good news.
Yeah.
Ryan, how is the Pearl Street gang? Is there still stuff going on there?
You know, I think one person showed up last week because it was like 1 degree. So Chris Coleman, good on you. Sorry, none of the rest of us showed up, but it was the week before we had a pretty good turnout at my place, and that was a lot of fun. I'm still getting over that, and that was a beautiful day, which helps, right? So lesson learned: if you're going to have a car gathering, pray for good weather, right?
It looked really fun. And what was it like hosting your own Cars and Coffee?
Well,
like, obviously it's a group that but
Yeah, it was supposed to just be our group, and then I think the word got out, and there were quite a few people who showed up, but it was great. Everyone was behaved, no one peeled out. We tore through dozens of donuts. The neighbors came out. It was great. It was fun. It was exactly what it should have been. And very fortunate to have such a nice group of friends and acquaintances and neighbors and stuff. It was kind of a throwback Cars and Coffee. It felt organic, and it felt, it was lo-fi in the very best way, which was cool. So thank you to all of you who showed up for that. I was really pleasantly surprised at the numbers and the quality of cars. There were some amazing cars, right?
Well, okay, so tell us what you had, like which kind of special cars we're going to see.
Well, there's a Spider RS. There was a beautiful 930 Porsche Turbo that showed up in a really unusual blue color that a friend had just picked up. Our buddy Tom Horan and his new Emery Outlaw, that was here. Lots of GT3s and GT4s and that kind of thing. There was a Bug-Eye Sprite. There was an old MR2. I mean, there's all kinds of cool stuff. Mostly Porsche, pretty Porsche heavy, of course. But just missing the two of you in your respective GT4 and Spider and 4.0 GTS 4.0. So,
what is the etiquette for if you host a Cars and Coffee at your house? Because, like, if I was to come for dinner, I'd bring a bottle of wine. So, did they bring whiskey? Did they bring donuts? Or did they bring anything?
Unfortunately, no whiskey, but lots of people brought donuts, bagels, that kind of thing,
Nice.
coffee, which was nice. Yeah. It's it was a Sunday morning. I could have passed around the collection plate, I suppose, but it was it was nice just to see everyone's faces in cars.
Donuts are a good currency, aren't they?
They are. I
Yeah.
want to do it again though. It was a hell of a lot of fun, and
The pictures looked great, and short of getting to be there, it was a great way to participate and kind of get a little slice of the fun that you guys were having.
Yeah, it was great. It was great.
And the weather looked amazing, which we've had here too the last 10 days, I think. So
next time, if you're going to go to Ryan's house, he's got VIP parking, but you have to bring a bottle of whiskey. How does that sound?
There you go. So, I have way more garage than I have fleet, right? So I filled in one of the blanks with a buddy's beautiful 356 Cabriolet, beautiful black car, just a lovely, lovely car. And I thought maybe, if it would manifest, right? Like if this car spent some time in my garage, it looked so good sitting next to my GT4. Of course, when he went to start it up, the thing let out the biggest backfire ever heard. And I see people sort of duck and, big puff of smoke, like cartoonish puff of smoke. And of course he swears it had never happened before. But it was kind of a nice punctuation to the day, if you will. So
wake everyone
Ron, thanks
up.
for letting me pretend that car was mine for a morning,
we do a little field of dreams. Like if you park it in the garage, eventually you'll have one.
That's right. I thought about just closing the door, What car?
Nope. Didn't see anything.
Possession is 9/10.
That's right.
Right.
I could do a little detailing and get a mechanic's lien going or something, but I want a 356. Seeing that car in my garage, and it was just such a nice compliment to what I have. And they're just such good cars. Beautiful thing.
Wow.
Is that something that you have wanted before?
No, it's something that since I've been involved with the Colorado Grand, they've really grown on me. And, I realize a lot of these cars I don't fit so well in, right? But the 356 I fit in just fine. And, it's familiar, and they're just, they don't break down like some of the other cars do. They're really reliable relative to some of the other stuff. And they're timeless, I wish I would have kind of gotten into them 10 years ago. But buy high, sell low, right?
Yep.
Even Boxsters are expensive these days. Like the original Boxsters are going up in value.
I feel like
talked about that, right?
I know. I feel like it's right on the cusp of, you could still find one now, but that's not going to be true for much longer. I think people are starting to, because it's more, I think of the Porsches, those are currently still a bit more accessible.
Yeah.
But that may not be the case much longer.
Yeah.
I was reading that the Pacific Northwest is getting, I guess, what's the right way of putting it? Is getting a lot less rainfall than normal. Is that right?
Yeah, it's been, I think that's been true the last couple of years, like maybe the last 4 years. There has been an unusual period of sunshine and clear skies in January, which we never used to have. But it does allow you to get your fun cars out if you thought they were put away for the whole winter.
Yeah.
So we took the GT4 out last weekend, I think. And
speaking of waking up the neighborhood, right?
Yeah.
Do you have like an
pipe to
established
GT4.
route now? Have you got like a route that you can go to?
No. So that's been kind of fun, just exploring, and, because I know the roads up here a little better than Tori does. So it's been fun kind of showing him a few of them. But really a lot of my just kind of like cruise driving has been in California.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was fun to sort of just get out and go, and, just cruise and get reacquainted and remember just how good the car is, because man, I don't care what's going on, a few seconds behind the wheel and all is right with the world.
Such a good car.
There we go. And I misread your notes, Lindsay, because you went to the events meet at the racetrack, and I thought you said that there was an electric mix of cars, and it was eclectic mix of cars. I was that sounds like a shit car show.
You're like, I'm so glad you went and I didn't.
Yeah.
That's really funny. I mean, it felt electric. It was crazy because of the weather being so good. They had kind of an impromptu cars and coffee down at Pacific Raceways in Kent, where the Performance Driving School is. And we got there. We were maybe a half hour after it started, but it's kind of open house. And there were probably 150 cars there. Wow. I've never seen that many cars there at one time. It was like going to the Willow Springs Reimagined, and seeing the number of cars there and just going like, there's
Yeah,
more cars
yeah.
here than there have been in 10 years. Like, I've never seen that many cars at Pacific at once. Almost the whole paddock was full, which was so much fun. And they were all over the map. Like, I was just looking at my pictures. You know, there was one of the most recent generations GT350 Mustangs, blue with white stripes, which is what I had. So that's always a treat to see. And they had, you know, there was the Kitches who run the school. They now have a Pro 3 E30 race car. So that was there. I hadn't seen it in person. That was fun. Obviously, a lot of Porsches. There were two of the Blackwing sedan Cadillacs, which is like one in that
Nice.
launch
I kinda
blue,
dig
which is so
those.
cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
They're
do
love
as
really
that
well.
color. Yeah.
well, and they're such a sleeper if you don't know what they are, and then you
Yeah.
hear them, and you're like, "Wait a minute, like what's going on there?" And there was this gorgeous Audi, like midnight purple wagon, which was really cool. Several E30 M3s, several E36 M3s, a few of
you
the
get-
most current M3
Yeah.
generation, like in really unique colors. One was this like brilliant metallic teal, and then there was a rust colored one. And what was really cool is then there was an E36 rust colored one, and you could see them. So it was like, you know, seeing the progression in real life.
Well, Lindsay, most importantly, were there any E39 M5 owners?
That
ready to-
were out for blood. There were not.
Pitchforks.
Yeah.
Right.
I had more than a couple people reach out. If you haven't heard the last episode, we did a bit on cars that worst cars we've ever driven, which is strong language. But you were really underwhelmed with the E39 M5. And it wasn't a car I thought was going to be brought up in that segment. But
No.
the consensus seems to be the good cars are really good, and the cars that aren't. And
Oh, interesting.
but they are a loyal bunch.
They are. I figured that would generate some engagement one way or another.
Yeah.
I know. Well, and it's so funny because I dropped off the M3 for service today, and as I pulled up to the shop, there was an E39 5 Series in this gorgeous, you know, ice blue.
Nice.
And as soon as I rounded the corner and saw it, I went, "Oh!" And then I was laughing at myself because I remembered what we talked about last week. I mean, I really do love them. So, you know.
Okay, Lindsay.
Yeah, right. And then there was a Typhoon at the Avance
Oh, wow.
event.
Okay.
Black
Nice.
Typhoon. There was a beautiful kind of mustard yellow 912. There was a 1978 Cadillac in this, like, you know, the butter yellow kind of that
Sure,
era. That was
yeah.
really cool. There was one of the new Alpha Giulia Quadrifoglio in that brilliant emerald green that they have.
Yeah. So this was
And-
eclectic.
It was a really fun mix. It was like a true, you know, when you go to a Cars and Coffee that isn't themed, and it was like mixed nuts. It was so much fun because every row was this really random mix. It was modern, vintage, you know, high performance, regular, all over the map. So definitely worth going. And, you know, it's always fun to get to see the performance crew too. So we got to catch up with them and see the dogs, and it's all
Okay,
good.
yes. Cool.
Yeah. We made the
So-
most of the weather.
I was on a mission last week and to report back on Scottsdale Car Week.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Tell
I'm
us
back.
all about it.
I made it out alive, which is a good thing.
It was huge this year.
It was huge from everything from car sales to everyone was down there. And yeah, it was a good week, a really good week.
Good.
And it started at Radford Race School. So this was formerly the Bondurant School of Racing.
Yeah.
Right.
And yeah, so we went there, and they've obviously got the Dodge Hellcats. And at that point, I didn't have a car to drive. I was being chauffeured around in a VW Atlas. And I was going to get a Hellcat for the week. They were going to give me a Hellcat. But then Mark at Radford said, "Hey, do you want to try this instead?" And he gave me the keys to a Lucid Gravity.
That is what an amazing
yeah.
surprise.
Yeah.
Right. And not being a big electric car person, like, you know, I was like, oh, do I want the keys to this or give me the Hellcat? But we decided that the Gravity was going to be a better car for the purposes of the week in terms of hosting clients and, you know, doing a lot of driving. And yeah, it was quick. it's probably the quickest car I've ever driven,
Yeah.
which is saying
Wow.
something. And it
Yeah.
was like, what's the right way of putting it? It's like seductively quick in terms of like you want more. You just
It lulls you into.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
lots
It's
of
the
people during the
siren
week.
song.
It's
Then you
siren
hear
car.
the
There we
actual
go.
siren song behind
Right.
you, and then
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
screwed. Yeah, that's.
In all the
Uh,
ways.
a lot of people were saying, "Oh, is that a people carrier all week?"
Mm,
So I think it
Huh.
has a split identity.
mm,
The thing is, like, when you want to drive it quickly, you want it in the lowest setting, so it doesn't actually look. It looks more like a wagon or a people carrier than it does an
Oh, yeah.
SUV.
yeah.
But that's because you're driving it low. Um, so
So is it so you can raise and lower the ride height?
yeah, big time. Yeah, there's like 5 or 6 settings.
I did not
Um,
realize that.
I think it was a pre-production car,
Oh,
so I hope it was a pre-production car because some of the technology was a bit amiss. But I really loved. We went to Sedona for the day, and
Nice.
I took it on a very spirited drive back through the mountains. We went to various locations that had twisties, and even one set of roads that we had that were twisties were one lane, as in there was a separate road to the left that was going up the hill, and we were
oh
going
yeah,
down the
like
hill.
split highway.
Yeah, split highway, and the regen. You have settings on the regen, and like I haven't had many electric cars. I know Ryan, you're a purveyor of an electric car, but the regen on it, obviously, it doesn't work when your battery's fully charged because it's got nothing to regen into.
Oh,
But it was
yeah.
you could set it to hard, which was fantastic because it really helped braking into the corners. Apart from the time where I went all in into a corner and it failed. And luckily, I managed to get it out of the corner of the other side. But and I don't know if that is maybe it needs to come with a warning saying if you go into a corner quicker than 100 miles an hour, it's not going to work.
Just
I don't know.
they're like, could we have a word? Minor heads
Yeah.
up.
Brakes
But
must
I think
work okay though.
the brakes, I think Jesus was my co-pilot into that corner. Yeah, it's got regen braking and the power of the Messiah. Because going out the other
That's
side
the
was
official term.
it was a Code Brown moment for sure.
Yeah.
But that was the only time it failed on me.
Okay.
But I loved the regen. It gave me confidence in performance driving.
Yeah.
But
Interesting.
it's the heaviest car I think I've ever driven as well.
Yeah.
So
And did you feel the weight when you were driving it?
yeah. I mean, they've done a good job of trying to reduce that, but it's probably one of the heaviest cars on the market.
Yeah.
But on the freeway, like you would just put your foot on the accelerator and like you were doing 110 allegedly before you knew it.
That's
It
amazing.
In
was
theory.
so quick.
Because Lindsay and I have driven this car, but only on the confines of downtown LA during the auto show, right?
Right.
So
But I think you drove the Air, didn't you?
We drove
Driven
the Air.
both.
All three of us drove
Oh,
the Air
okay.
Yeah.
a year ago, and then this year we got to drive the Gravity.
Okay.
So I was really
So you know-
excited when you said
Yeah.
you had one for this extended length of time.
Yeah.
Well, and so Ryan, what did you think about it? Because
Yeah.
when we drove the Air in 2024, I loved it instantly.
Yeah.
It was one of the few cars that I just went like, absolutely yes, all of it, I'll take it.
Yeah.
The Gravity,
Yeah.
I didn't have that sort of gut response to.
Yeah, I thought the Gravity seemed a little more buttoned up, a little, just better put together. I guess, because when we drove that Air, it was, I think, a pretty early one. I don't think we had full power in either of these, these cars when we drove them, unlike you. So didn't really get a sense of the power in quite the same way. But they're neat because they're unlike anything else, right? They have a vibe that's just different. And,
Right.
they're cool. I thought they were very comfortable. I like the fit and finish, the quality of the materials. But it's hard out there, for a small electric car company. And so I don't know, what the future holds, but I'd love to see them succeed because I think they've got a really compelling product, and I think maybe I like the Air. I think maybe I like the sedan better in a way. I'm not quite sure. I'd have to drive them both again, Lucid, and do a back to back. And this time, give us the full bore, versions, please.
Yeah.
So I don't know what settings, but the settings on the new one is calm. and calm is like
Okay.
eco mode.
Okay.
And I think that's a riff on Tesla because Tesla have a similar phrase.
Yeah.
Next one, which really is probably why I love the car, is called Swift.
There you go.
So the middle button is Swift.
Talk about a match made in heaven.
Yeah, and then the 0 to 60, like if you want to beat like GT3s off the line,
Yeah.
the 0 to 60 is called Sprint. So it's got 3 modes on it. But I couldn't get Apple CarPlay to work.
Let me guess. You never took it out of Swift.
No, yeah, it lived in Swift. Why would you?
Right.
3 days in, I discovered that electric seats also were massaging seats.
Oh,
So that was cool.
yeah.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
a nice
like-
discovery.
Yeah, it was. It was a lovely surprise.
Yeah.
It's like, what does this do? Oh, hello. Yeah,
Geez, buy me dinner first, right?
yeah, that's right.
We'll have let you down. We should have had like a Taylor Swift lyric on deck to share.
There we
as soon
go.
as you said that. But
Yeah.
we'll just,
Ryan can
Yeah.
edit it in later, can't you, Ryan?
or we can just do an insert your favorite Taylor Swift lyric here. Yay!
Yeah. Well, I'll put one in the
Absolutely.
comments, guys.
Yeah.
There you go.
The wittiest comment wins. I challenge
There
you.
you
Yeah.
go. Yeah. There you go.
But
That's
so that
Counting
was,
Crows titles also work.
yes.
True. So how
so
many
that was-
people? How many people?
Yeah.
Like, what was the most? What was the max number of people that you had in it during the week when you were
Yeah,
ferrying
so
people around?
I had 4 people in it at one point. They all agreed that when you really put your foot down, everyone feels nauseous in the car. But they did love the heated seats in the back.
Nice.
So, but yeah, at one point there was 4 of us in it, and there was an extra row, so there's 3 rows.
Yeah.
But you don't get much luggage space with the 3 rows, so obviously you put the 3rd row down if you want the luggage space.
Very cool.
But yeah, I want to spend more time in one, and hopefully with the technology working, like I couldn't get CarPlay to work, and
Yeah.
so I had to separately match Spotify. So there was a separate app for Spotify, and you do a QR code. So, but yeah, I loved it. For an electric car, and I had all sorts of problems with Tesla, and we'll maybe come on to Tesla in a minute. But at the end of my spirited drive, I ended up with 30 miles left and managed to navigate to a Tesla Hyperchargers. And this is like probably 6 in the evening, and I'm about an hour and a half away from Phoenix. So anyway, I go to plug in, nothing. I then download the app. And if you've used the Tesla app, you download the app, and then it emails you a code, and you put the code in. But the problem was there was such a delay. Every time I would make the request, go to the email, by the time the email came in, the page had expired.
Exactly.
Right.
So, the air was quite blue with insults towards Mr. Musk at that point. But eventually I then got it working. And then for some reason that Tesla charger wasn't on the charging app.
Oh, you're kidding me.
Of
And
course.
the nearest superchargers were 30 miles away. And I
Okay.
had 30 miles left in the tank. Or the tank, I guess the battery. So yeah, it was like, I think I may have claimed I'm never going to drive another electric car again at one point. Clearly I did the next day. But yeah, so the charging network was still very frustrating.
Threats were made and not kept.
Yeah.
That's all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I know you guys saw some news around Tesla, so I don't know if you want to share that now.
Yes, I just read that Tesla will be discontinuing the Model S and the Model X in favor of transitioning that factory over to build the Optimus robots. So before long, the robots will run amok at Tesla.
Did they transform from the semi truck into the
Right.
What was that? That was Optimus Prime.
Optimus
right?
Prime and the Transformers,
Yeah,
correct.
yeah.
I mean, that might be more like, I feel like they might have better luck selling the robots if they did transform into a semi-truck because Elon is saying that they are giving the Model S and Model X an honorable discharge as they transition over to, because he says we're all moving towards autonomy, whether that's accurate or not. And he's anticipating building 1 million robots, I think, a year and selling them. I mean, I guess I'm also interested in like who's the target audience for these robots too.
Well, let's break this down because there's a lot going on here. When did the Model S come out? How many decades ago was that?
It's been a while, right?
2012? Was it earlier?
Shall I give our research
Please,
department a
because
break?
Yeah, our research department.
you're just dealing with an old car whose
Should we,
time
should we
has
guess? So you're
come
saying
and
2012. I think that's pretty.
is
I
that too
maybe
new?
2011. I think they're
Let's
about 17 years old. So what would that be?
That would be
20.
2009.
2009.
Will you look that up?
Since 2012.
2012.
Oh,
Okay,
Ryan!
right.
Wow. There's a reason he's the
Yeah.
#1 writer on Autoblog.
Right.
He gets the facts right first
Yes,
every time.
that's right.
That's
I'm
right.
sure that's so far
We
from
never
the truth,
doubted
but-
you.
but it's an old car. That's an old
Right.
car, right? I mean,
Right.
it's that's a lot of model years, right, for anything. And although I think I want to say they did a nice job of keeping it current, but I was in one recently and it really does feel old now, right? Even a new one feels old. It's dated. And the Model 3, I think when it came out was just a superior car in so many ways, but and the Model X, right? I don't know when that must have been a couple years later, right? So maybe 2015.
I am happy to find that out
But
as well.
these are old cars. Their time has come and gone. I mean, I thought you were going to say they're going to get rid of these cars so they could finally start production of the Roadster.
I
Right?
was going to go there.
Okay.
They're just trying to
Still a
distract
mystery beast,
everybody with
isn't it?
these robots.
Yeah, look over there, squirrels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
the Model X began production in 2015. So just a
Okay.
couple years after that.
Okay. So yeah,
What's left
I
in
mean,
production? What are they still going to make? They're going to make the truck still?
yeah,
The Model 3
and the
The
Y,
Model 3.
and the Y. Yeah.
the Y,
Why?
So.
And the cab? Is that there's an autonomous cab as well? Are they making that now?
That is a great question.
Yeah.
They distracted everyone with the robots and did not talk about that on the
Yes.
call. At least in the article I read.
Are these
The only time I've seen one of those robots was at a party, and it was a bartender. Like,
perfect? We all do need one. Yeah.
bartenders.
They'll sell a million
Actually, now that you
tomorrow.
mention it, yes, I could use one of those at my house.
Yeah, actually,
Oh no.
What are they for? Like, what's the purpose? Are they just sort of like butler robots? Are they,
I mean, that's
are
what I
these
was picturing, but I
military
guess
industrial,
right. Like, how
what's-
capable are they?
Yeah.
Like, could they be in a factory or whatever? The only
yeah.
video I've seen, and maybe it's the same one, Dan. This robot was supposed to be passing out bottles of water, and what it looks like is that the robot takes off a headset. So the inference is that the teleoperator wasn't logged out, took the headset off. The robot mimed that or mimicked that, and then fell backwards and knocked over the water.
Oh,
So, on that note, maybe stick to building the Model S and the Model X.
yeah. It's I have to be careful. I just applied for a role at Elon. He has a brother named Kimball Musk who has a company called Nova Sky Stories. And I didn't know until after I applied for this job, it's a creative director role, that there was an affiliation. Nova Sky Stories does these amazing aerial displays with thousands of drones, and I thought, hey, that'd be a very cool company to work for. They're up in Boulder here. I did a little digging, and apparently this came about. This Kimball and his wife were at Burning Man a couple of years ago. I guess the weather was bad. They couldn't burn the man or something, and he thought, gee, what Burning Man really needs is a drone show. And that began, this
And
company.
I'm the man to deliver.
Yeah, if anyone's listening,
hire Ryan.
new
Hire
creative
him.
director right here. But
Ryan's the best.
yeah, so yeah, good
It's a
people.
small world. Yeah.
Yeah.
Small world,
Yeah.
soon to be
Don't
full
send
of
the
robots.
drones after me if I don't get the job.
You could have so much fun with drones, couldn't
Would
you?
that be amazing?
Wow.
Would that be amazing?
It could be like graffiti. You could,
Yeah.
tag the sky. Couldn't you? It's,
Have you ever,
There's your new slogan.
if you get the job,
right?
Ryan, what you've got to
Yeah.
do is you've got to create that car show logo in the sky.
Inlights.
Oh.
Have you ever actually seen one of those shows? They're really impressive, right?
They're
I guess-
incredible.
yeah. So,
I saw
yeah.
one actually at Le Mans. They do a fireworks display.
Okay.
Dan, I don't know if you saw the fireworks, but this year they had a drone element to it, and they spelled Le Mans in the sky
That's
vertically, and they spun around. I mean, it's it's remarkable what they
There's a
can do.
three-dimensional element,
Yeah.
to it,
Good
which
job
is
it
just
wasn't
really.
the Indianapolis 500, really.
Really
Cross the
long
sky
column of
and
yeah,
come. Yeah.
exactly. They're like, you know what? We're just going with Indy.
Yes.
I love
Anyway,
it. I
back
love
to
it.
Car
Yeah.
Week, Arizona Car Week, that is.
Yes.
So after getting the adrenaline fix at Radford Race School, and if you've not been, I would highly recommend it. Those guys are, ahead of their craft when it comes
Yeah.
to teaching safety, specifically driving. We went to the owner of Radford's house for the evening.
Nice.
Oh,
And this is one of the highest demand tickets in the week. It's
oh, I'm
pretty
sure.
hard to get an invite to that event. And I walked in. Who do I see there, smiling, giving me a big hug? Friend of the show, Jorge Aquino.
Hey, Jorge.
So
Nice.
he has clearly made it in the Arizona car community because
Yeah.
he got an
That's
invite to the
awesome.
hottest ticket in town. He was in good form,
Yeah.
and he was kind enough to introduce me to all his friends. It kind of felt like a personal concierge service, and every time I turned around, there was another guest that he said, "Hey, you guys should meet." So it was a wonderful evening.
That's
Got to hang
awesome.
out with Justin Bell as well.
Nice.
Oh,
And
that's awesome.
yeah, and the folks
Justin.
from Advance, so Adam
Cool.
and Nikki, who's the director there, and
Yeah.
Nikki's
Yeah.
Right.
husband, Justin.
They're
So yeah,
great.
it was a good evening and a good way to start. They actually reunited Justin Bell with, he won Le Mans in a Dodge Viper. And as
yeah.
part of that, he kind of got to buy a Dodge Viper stroke, get given, and that
Sure.
car was there. So he got reunited with that car, which was pretty
Oh,
cool.
that's cool.
Very
Is
cool.
that was that the year that he and his dad were on the same team that when
That
they
was
drove
earlier.
together?
Yeah, that was
Ooh.
earlier. So that was in a Harrods McLaren.
Right.
And
Right.
Oh.
yeah, they ended up leading the race for many, many laps, and they weren't supposed to. So what I mean by that is this wasn't the factory team. So in
Yeah.
theory, the factory
Ah.
team for McLaren should be doing better than a
Right.
privateer team, right? But yeah, they ended up, leading. He's got some great stories about, like, when you do the people transfer at Le Mans, when you swap drivers,
Yeah.
apparently he just pulled his dad out, and his dad went rolling down the pit lane. Like, the adrenaline was so much that he just like dragged him out. And this is obviously Derek Bell, who is one of the
Yeah.
the most important people in motorsport. So
Yeah.
fun.
He's got a few accomplishments to his name.
Yeah.
He's been around a
Yeah.
little bit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
one or two,
Yeah.
one or two. So that was day one in the can. Good way to start the week.
Very cool.
Day two, we went to private collections. And the first private collection I went to, this gentleman had all sorts of Lamborghinis, all sorts of Black Series Mercedes. But the
Oh.
most impressive achievement of all his cars is he invited us all into his living area. And you walk through the front door, and what is facing straight ahead of you is a DeLorean. And then you look at the math of the door width and everything else, and he tells this story that he bought the car, but only on the condition that the person selling the car could get the car into the house. And the car does not fit through the front door. So the car actually got craned over the house and then moved in from the back. So, you've made it when you can buy a DeLorean and have it craned into your house.
Yeah. 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 How
You
many
know, it's good
robots
to have
did he have?
goals. Yeah.
I mean, it'd have been much easier, wouldn't it, if Optimus and his friends had come along
That's
and moved
right.
it? Yeah. So that
That's
was
cool.
an accomplishment. You've made it when you've got a DeLorean in your front living room.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. And maybe that's the right place for a DeLorean.
Yeah.
I was thinking that because for the most part, we all say we like to see cars driven and it's tough to see cars that are just tucked away. But that might actually be the perfect situation for a DeLorean, just given their, especially with the age that they are,
Yeah,
because it's
yeah.
still being celebrated and enjoyed in a way that makes sense for that car.
Have either of you ever driven a DeLorean? Because I haven't. So,
I have sat
maybe
in
I'm being
one.
too hard on them, but it's
No, I mean, I
really is
don't
about
think
the
they're
look.
known. I don't think they're known for their reliability.
Yeah. Yeah.
No. It's weird, though, isn't it? Because in theory, part of them should be a good car because the chassis was developed by Colin Chapman of Lotus.
Right.
So in
right.
theory, but then they went and put a French engine in the back.
That's right.
And a crappy gearbox, and the ingredients didn't equal a great car. But
I was going to say, what it's lesser than the sum of its parts,
Yeah,
which is not usually the case.
a rarity.
But an icon, like very few cars are, and
Right.
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 That's why I
But
think
it's-
maybe displaying them is the perfect solution.
That's okay.
Yeah. He had a hoverboard in it. He had
Oh, that's amazing.
What was the character in
Marty
Back to
McFly.
the Future? Marty McFly. He had a driver's license, a California driver's
that's
license
cool.
with a picture, and said Marty McFly. So it was
That's-
all about the little touches, which was cool.
Yeah, that's
That
super
is cool.
That's super
I
cool.
love that.
Yeah, no, super
Plutonium was actual plutonium.
Cool. That's right. Yeah, everyone was glowing that evening, literally. So that was the first car collection of the day, and then we went off to Sedona. And if you've not been to Sedona, it's a beautiful, beautiful location. You know,
It's
it's
magical.
out in the desert. You've got those rock formations that I guess remind me of like Airwolf or something like that. Those
wow.
sort of, you know.
Speaking of the 80s, yeah.
Yeah.
The theme continues.
Right, Back to the Future, Airwolf. What else can we get in this show?
Yeah.
But that was cool. And then we came back, and then that evening I ended up going to the Otto Club. Are you guys familiar with the Otto Club? So this is a car storage and kind of a membership club. They hosted a specific party for Car Week. Everything was done really nicely in terms of like red drapes all the way around, and then through the drapes were roof cars mainly pushing through, so you could only see like 2/4 of the car, which was quite nicely done.
That's clever.
They had folks on like high wires, so it was almost like a Cirque du Soleil meets roof.
Don't fall on the roof.
Yeah. And in the corner, there was also a Zinger. And I caught up with a guy called Cooper from Zinger, so shout out to him.
Yeah, we like Zinger.
He does all their social media, and he's a good guy. So
He's a
that was
skilled
Otto Club.
photographer too. He has worked with Haggerty and Broad Arrow to do a lot of their photography as well.
There we go. Small world.
Yeah.
Very small world. I mean, as always, right?
Yeah. And then that was Thursday. Friday was Barrett Jackson. And I guess firstly, thank you to Barrett Jackson for the hospitality, because they were very kind enough to give us hospitality. We weren't in the Craig Jackson suite, but we were next to it, so it was pretty good.
You were Craig adjacent, which is just as nice.
Yeah, right. What an eye-opener of an auction.
Yeah,
So I'm used to RM and Bonhams and maybe Goodings. This isn't that. This is a massive auditorium, and they are playing a volume game. So what I mean by that is literally the cars roll on one side of the stage, go across the stage, then go up for auction, and they're in two positions during the auction. The first position is the middle of the stage, and then the second position is slightly on the down ramp. But I would say that each car was selling or not selling within like a 2-minute window.
Wow.
So it's like boom, 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 car. And it was a lot of American. I was there on the Friday, and further on, the last day is the Saturday, and the nicest cars get sold on the Saturday, so I didn't see the nicest car. But it was also a really interesting mix of people. I think the car park was mainly full of trucks. So not necessarily your people, Lindsay, but it was full of trucks. The side halls had everything from watches to book yourself on a bison hunt. So that might give you an idea of some of the guests. But yeah,
do you feel like that? Like, is there a lot of overlap in that Venn diagram? Is like if you're going to Barrett Jackson, you might buy a car or also go on a bison hunt.
Sheep, bison. I think also cigars is another big thing. So there were lots of areas outside where people were smoking cigars.
Okay.
Interesting.
So it was a shock. It was a
That's
shock.
quite an electric mix.
It's like the state fair or something. You buy a
exactly
hot tub.
that.
It's
lots of jeans and t-shirts.
Okay.
That was the kind of theme of the day.
Yeah.
It's a good spectator sport because you can walk around and see what cars are about to come through the auction. And they all get driven through. There were some beautiful Broncos. So there was quite a few beautiful Broncos that kind of went through.
Were they like first gen? Like what era?
Like the classic, but the Resto classics.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
All done very nicely color wise, and
they're just so adorable. There was one I watched it briefly, like I think midweek, and there was a '90s Cadillac sedan, one of the big ones, one of the Brougham, if anybody remembers those. And it was such a throwback.
I don't know what that meant, but I used to see the script,
Yeah,
type on
and
the
this
side
one
of the.
was just, burgundy inside and out, and it
Yeah,
had
yeah.
the, vinyl roof, I think, or the cloth roof. I don't know if you remember those. And there was a lot of 90s cars in that segment, but that
Interesting.
was such a throwback to, I remember seeing those in high school.
Oh,
It's like,
sure.
man, I haven't seen Brougham on the side of a car in a long time.
It was. I kind of wish I'd gone on the Saturday now because
Yeah.
my friends that did go bumped into the actor that played Officer Frank Poncherello from the TV
Ah,
series
I
Shit.
saw that. I saw that.
So yeah, that was he's hero status in my head, and we got
Yeah,
to the
yeah.
UK, and yeah,
I was
that would
always
be
Camp John Baker to be
okay.
honest, but I like Ponch too, and I would
Would
love
you
to get a
accept
picture with him.
Ponch in a pinch,
I
though?
would accept Ponch in a pinch.
There we go. So he was there
I'd
on the
accept a
Saturday.
pinch from Ponch. But,
Wow, pinch punch first of the month, right?
Either or.
I promise that none of us have been drinking tonight.
I know.
Croy,
I know,
I mean,
I'm
they're
like,
just this
I
full of
see.
charisma.
Yeah.
That's.
So that was Friday.
What was he? What was Ponch buying? Was he buying a '78 Kawasaki?
There were no motorbikes.
Lease?
So
Okay.
he was at the wrong auction for that, right?
Ponch was there for the bison hunts, obviously.
Clearly.
I think Ponch was there for the ladies. Let's be honest.
Yeah. So that was Friday.
Right on.
Friday night was I was doing a dinner and I wasn't gonna go, but then I found out that some friends were at the events party. So went to the events party at the warehouse.
Nice.
And shout
fun.
out to Rebecca. A lady called Rebecca owns the warehouse and she's done an amazing job with it. It's a really cool location for the week. It was an art studio and car storage. So there were
Oh,
four
wow.
artists there for the week, and they'd all created art based on a 250 GTO. So that was pretty cool.
Oh, that's cool.
That
Was
beats a
Lynn
vase of
Heiner-
flowers. I mean, that's a nice subject to.
Much better than a Van Gogh, right?
Yeah.
Was
exactly.
Lynn Heiner one of the artists that was there?
Yeah.
Do you know?
I spent
Yeah,
time with
yeah.
Lynn during the week, actually.
Cool.
Lovely lady.
She's
Cool.
lovely. She's based in Southern California, and so we cross paths, as often as we're in the same place. But yeah, after you said that, I realized I had seen a picture of her, but I didn't know about the venue. So is the warehouse like an event space? Is it typically car themed?
Yeah, I think it's definitely a car-themed location. It's got a couple of offices. It's got, I think there's car storage there as well. So
got it.
it's got everything, I think. But it was cool because I was also catching up with some of our rival podcasters. So if you
Oh.
guys know Filippo and Nick from this car pod, is that right? Is that their? I don't think they're big yet, but they'll get there one day.
Yeah. They'll find their
but,
sea legs. Yeah.
Yeah, I managed to catch up with those, and they're super nice people.
That's awesome.
So
That's
it's good to talk to them. And
Very cool.
and see
Dan
their
Pilling
friends like
in Podcast Wars.
that. Yes, we should have had like a podcast off or something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
Freestyle.
awesome. Well, it's always fun to talk shop.
yeah,
That's cool.
yeah.
That's
And
very
they
cool.
were in good form. Nick had bought. He's got an SLR Mercedes convertible.
That's right. That's right.
So he'd driven that from, I guess, San Diego way on.
Okay.
So
That's a good drive.
he
Not
was
too
saying
long,
that-
but you definitely get some time in the car.
Yeah, he was saying that he wouldn't have risked it in his old car, which was a Lamborghini, but he felt more
well.
comfortable in the Mercedes.
When given the choice,
Right.
it's-
Right?
What is one to do?
Yeah. Take the German car every time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was Arizona Car Week. I think
Very
it's one of
cool.
these events where you go every other year or you go every 3 years.
Yeah,
I think if you do it every year, it's probably, the same people, the same events, and probably not too much of a differentiation.
Did you get to drive at Radford on the track?
Not this time. I have done before, and to be honest, I could have
Yeah.
done, but work was unfortunately in the way. But I have done in the past of the track.
Yeah, no, I remember when you did the school because we got to hear about it. So.
Yeah. There
know,
was
well,
a
it's-
police officer turned up, and he had a new charger, and
Okay.
he was allowed to use the track. And I tell you what, no one was getting away from a speeding ticket in the Chandler area if he was behind you.
Okay. Right on.
He drove like he stole it, and it was a police car.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
amazing. Well, I mean, anytime, I didn't get out at Pacific on Saturday either, but, even racetrack adjacent is a good time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and so you mentioned you were going to get a Hellcat, and I'm glad to hear that you didn't, because there was a jewelry store robbery in Orange County and they used Hellcats. But so now we
That's
know it
right.
wasn't you for sure.
Yes, I have an alibi and a Gravity.
Right.
Yeah.
But tell me, I saw that story, and they
Yeah.
escaped in 2 Hellcats. Neither one was being pursued, yet they both managed to crash, and then they were all arrested. So,
Right. Talk about
know,
literally crashing out in
best possible
spectacular fashion.
ending.
I mean,
And
Yeah.
just a shout out to Jorge, our buddy Jorge down in Phoenix, because he's really owning that whole Arizona Car Week thing. He was pumping up podcast episodes left and right. I don't know how he does it. I don't know where he gets the energy.
Yeah.
He does these things on the fly. He's our generation's automotive Charles Kuralt, I think. He's on the road, and he's recording, and he's capturing every story, and he's killing it. So it's good to see.
Yeah, good. It was good to see
I miss
him.
being
and,
there. I miss being there.
his friends
know.
was so nice. So nice.
oh, that's awesome.
You know, it was YouTubers, it was artists, it was
Nice.
owners of detailing shops, but they were all
love
really
it.
nice car people. So
I love it.
he was in
Love
good
it.
company.
That's what it's all
Well,
about.
it's always fun to, because a lot of us are not in the same place very often. Like, we're lucky that social media has connected us. So it's cool to meet people in person when you are in the same place.
Yeah, no, totally. Ryan, you had an idea around definitions of mid cars.
Well, everyone seems to like these little collections of cars we do, right? The worst cars you've ever driven, like the E39 M5. And so, Lindsay, you've got a 13-year-old. I've got a 13-year-old. And we
Yeah.
pick up on the lingo a little bit. Can't say 6, 7 anymore. I'm not quite sure
Nope.
what's next. But for a while, they were using this term called mid. And,
Yeah.
so it's kind of like, I don't know. Dan, you asked me what it meant. And tell
Right.
me if I'm wrong, Lindsay, but it's kind of like the dad bod or the mom jeans of cars, right? Like the most mid car, right? So what is the most mid car? Just like not a bad car, but just like kind of the most average of cars. Like if you asked a kid to draw a car, what would that car be? And so, I mean,
I would
because
say they're
it's
unremarkable. is
unremarkable.
what comes to mind.
Do
It's
the
like
job.
totally functional, nothing wrong
Reliable.
with them, but it doesn't get your blood going when you
Not
So
see
could we
exciting.
say that other podcasts are mid?
They are
absolutely
all mid.
All other podcasts, the car
all other
podcasts
ones.
are mid.
Yeah, every single one
Right.
is mid.
Yeah.
It's mid.
What I'm
Then there's
hearing is
us.
that there wasn't a podcast war in Arizona, but Dan would like to start one.
mid.
Yeah.
Just declare it so.
That dueling glove has been launched onto the ground.
Right. Well, and I think that really we're right on schedule because, like you said, Ryan, the kids aren't using it anymore, so
Yeah.
it's just perfect timing for us to pick it up.
Right. For
Right.
us olds, right? To to come in, So yeah, I think it's just, like again, not a bad car, just kind of average, probably nothing too obscure, right? Like what else would be a mid car? Yeah, they're just so average, right? So I don't know who. So I asked you each to pick 3. And Lindsay is another parent of a 13-year-old. I think you probably have a pretty good sense of the word. So what'd you go with?
So at first, I kept thinking because there was at one point I had a Cayman and it was in the shop for a week, but they kept telling me it was ready. And the way the setup, you'd get a rental car and then you had to walk over to the shop to pick up the car. And so you'd throw the rental car key through the slot and then I'd go to pick up the car and they'd say, just kidding, it's not ready. So you'd get a different rental car.
Right.
And that happened, I think, twice. And finally, I was like, I'm going to hang on to these keys until I find out that the car is actually ready.
Yeah.
And so that was a week of multiple mid cars, but it was long enough ago that I couldn't remember them. But I definitely, I had sort of a sense memory when you said, Ryan, like, what is a mid car that's available? I went, whatever those 3 were, absolutely fit the bill. But also kind of like we've talked before about sort of unremarkable rental cars.
Yeah.
A lot of them fit the bill. But what I landed on, and I decided to include a gas car, a hybrid, and an electric.
Yeah.
There are used and new options. And I would say, just generally unremarkable, but nothing wrong with them. And they get the job done. So the 3 that I chose are the Tesla Model 3, because we're just overrun with them here.
Yeah.
And so it's
Yeah.
like, I'm kind of glazed over at this point on them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Same thing with a Toyota Prius.
Yeah.
They're used in, I know a lot of
Old
people
shape
think,
though, right? I had the Toyota Prius, old shape,
yeah,
not
the
the
old
new one. The
shape.
new one looks quite cool.
No, the old
It
shape.
doesn't drive cool though. That's the only problem.
Well, yeah. And the Ford Fusion. Like,
Oh,
they're
that's a
all-
good one. That
like,
is
they're all
just a
fine,
car. Yeah.
right? They're
Yeah.
fine. I think that's what it is. Like, they're fine, but they're
Yeah.
not super exciting, engaging, grab your attention and just like, yeah. So
I
that's
think
what
these
I
would
got.
all be good first cars for our soon-to-be 16-year-old, 13-year-olds too, right? Because these are not cars an enthusiast would ever go for, right? And I'm going to tell you right
Right.
now, there's one car we all have. Apparently.
It was funny when I was choosing, I was like, I have a feeling there's gonna be one that we have all chosen. So
Yeah.
shall we
All right.
keep
No,
going and find out?
Those are good because you've got a Prius too. It sounds like, Dan.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
the old Prius, right?
The old
Yeah.
Prius.
Yeah. Did you have
Do you
one?
remember Yeah, I've got. I said the Toyota Prius. Maybe this is an obvious one, but any year, any generation, any trim level, to me, it's the car for people who don't care about cars. There's no joy in the drive. They don't excel at anything other than maybe fuel efficiency, though the latest iteration does look pretty good. There's a reason the Prius is the car that more often than not shows up when you order an Uber.
Yes.
And that's the Prius, right?
Or
And-
Uber Eats.
Oh,
Well, and we have a ton of taxi Priuses up here
Yes.
too.
yeah. Okay.
So-
Okay. Yeah, I guess.
So
that's
this
what
was
they're
going to
good
be
for.
a 9-car list, and now it's a 7-car list because we all.
Might be a
One of them is all
3-car.
the same.
Let's see where Ryan's going next.
Yeah, that's
You
true.
want me to go? Okay. All right. The Prius was
Yeah.
just so obvious, and then I went with the Honda CR-V, the official vehicle of mothers-in-law everywhere. Tell me I'm wrong.
We can't.
And I mean, the last generation had pretty good cars, right? But they're just cars. Right?
They're functional.
They're functional. They're functional. There's a reason mothers-in-law buy them and drive them and
That's hilarious.
back up into me in parking lots. But the third one
But that's
is
neither here nor there.
a car much like we talked about the worst cars we've ever driven, and the Chevy Malibu came up for me. And I was
Dang.
shocked at
I
how
almost
long-
put that one on my
Dang.
list.
Okay, well, I didn't pick it. But
Oh,
this one
okay.
has a lot of parallels, almost as long in the tooth. And it's a car that I had to make sure was still being sold, but you talk about average middle America, Iowa, sitting in the left lane. It's the Chrysler Pacifica / Voyager. I didn't know that they
Right.
made a Voyager. They brought the name back, I think, for the lesser, the less upscale one.
The lower trim level or whatever. So is it
Yeah.
is it still a Plymouth Voyager or is it a Chrysler?
No, it's a
Voyager?
Chrysler. And of course, if you go to Chrysler.com, there is but one vehicle, and that is the
Right.
minivan. But now there are but two vehicles because they call it two different things, right? Depending on, whether you're in the position to lay out 40,000 or 45,000, right? The
Right.
Town and Country, incidentally, is gone. That's come up a couple times in conversation. The Town and Country is no more.
It's the
But
end
this
of an
is a
era.
car.
It'll be back.
Yeah. I mean, I always slap a little wood grain vinyl on a car and
I
call
know.
it a day, right?
It's the pause of an era.
Which, by the way, speaking of our buddy Jorge, he heard our last episode, and he said his mom had a Town and Country, and as Jorge said, that thing slapped. And I told him, Jorge, that was just the vinyl flapping in the wind.
So hold on,
Just
next week we
gently
need to come
feeling
up with a list of cars that slap.
Slap. We're
We're
gonna
going
do that.
to
The slap
Yeah.
list.
we're
My
gonna
daughter, your
countermand-
daughter, cringing
I
right now.
know.
Yeah,
I was going to
yeah.
say, we're going to countermand all of the slang that is no longer in use, really show
Yeah.
our age and use it incorrectly and just make our kids
That's-
cringe as much as possible.
That's it. I have to add when they're big in Iowa, these things, right? And I did a whole thing for Autoblog about how, usually when there's a car in the passing lane in Iowa, it's one of these things. Well, the last time I was there, I saw one being driven by the Iowa Department of Corrections as a prisoner transport vehicle. And then going right past it was like a family in their minivan. And it's like, yeah, it's kind of what it is, right? Transport prisoners or your kids, Costco, the county jail, you're good. It just kind of
6 of one, half a dozen of the other.
6 of one. But I looked it up and I was shocked to find out that it actually has a V6 with 286 horsepower. That is the one engine option, which isn't terrible. In a world of 2.0 turbos, this thing actually has an honest to God Chrysler V6 that pumps out pretty decent power. So now you know. But
I feel like there's a lot of advertising potential there. I mean, look at the versatility. Family cars, prisoners, you name it. The Pacifica / Voyager has got it covered.
You got bodies to shuttle around. This is your car. But I had one on. Go ahead, sorry.
I was just going to say, talk about an engine that's never going to be used for what it was designed for.
Yeah.
It's like putting indicators on a BMW.
Zing.
I did have an honorable mention.
Movers. Yeah.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, what's your honorable mention?
The Tesla Model 3, but specifically the single motor car. I used to work for a big accounting firm, and that was the car that I used to see a lot of in the parking lot. Terrible car for terrible people, and I'll leave it at that.
That's the single engine one, the single motor
the single engine one.
You heard it here first.
Friend.
Also, can I just say, I don't think I ever expected to hear the phrase "big in Iowa."
Yeah,
that car show, big in Iowa.
Not anymore.
Yeah.
Is Iowa famous for potatoes, or did I make that up?
Corn. They're famous for corn.
Yeah,
right? And sitting in the passing lane.
Yeah, who makes the potatoes then? Which state?
Idaho.
It's Idaho.
Idaho.
The other state.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's probably California anymore, to be honest, right? So it's
who knows?
So I had the Prius. Do we think that next year Haggerty will be bringing out the bull market, the mid market, and the bullshit market? I think they're going to steal a lot of ideas.
These kids might be onto something.
The Aztec, pretty mid, right?
Oh, absolutely spectacular.
Not currently on the market, but
I think it's retro cool now, though, isn't it?
Yeah. I think it's way better than mid. Also, I have to say that. I'm contractually obligated to say that it's spectacular.
Okay. It was part of the vows.
No reason. Yeah.
Do you take this man and agree?
Do you promise to never speak
off camera? It's just like a hostage video.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's on a cinder block wall behind you, and you don't say the right thing.
I love the Pontiac Aztec. Did I say it correctly?
Wow.
Are you blinking in Morse code currently?
Yeah, exactly.
Marriage really changes a person, doesn't it?
I'm also blinking how much I love the Aztec. Just to make sure my bases are covered.
And then I had the Malibu.
What's next?
The Malibu.
Okay. That's there. Yeah, that exists in the mid.
What is the Chrysler that was like it was round at the back and they did a convertible, but not the convertible.
Oh, the Sebring.
The Sebring? Yeah, the Chrysler Sebring.
Oh, then there was
another mid.
Yeah, there was the
the
Avenger. No, I mean all these cars could qualify. We're
Turns
splitting
out
hairs.
we have a pretty long list.
Yeah.
But it's interesting that a lot of them are either Japanese or American.
Yeah,
isn't it?
Yeah.
I know that, look at America, for example, then a lot of their business is scale. So they're creating cars for scale, right? Selling lots of them. But it's interesting that it was those two.
Yeah, they kind of landed majority in those two regions.
Yeah. You want one more Japanese one? The RAV4 could have been on there too.
I almost had the RAV4.
Yeah.
That was on the list, but an old one, not a new one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Though they made a 6-cylinder with, I think, 270 horsepower for just a year or two, several generations back. That was crazy quick, like 0 to 60 in like 5.4 seconds. Look it up. It's a real thing. So
wow.
Now you know.
Bull market next year. I was talking to someone who said that they leased a RAV4 And for a while, they did an all-electric version. I don't know if you guys knew that.
I think I did know that.
Like early on, right? It was like one of the first
super early on
EVs. Yeah.
And it was like $300 a month to lease it.
But it had like I think a range of 90 miles or something.
150 miles.
150. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
And the same owners that now have the hydrogen cars out in California.
That's right.
They moved on to the Mirai.
That's
There was a lawsuit though against the Mirai owners got together and were suing because there was nowhere to actually fuel the cars.
Or the infrastructure it was not built out as they were told that it would be.
No. So these were hydrogen
the Mirage.
cars,
right? Yeah. There was one station in Orange County that I knew about because I knew I had family friends that bought one. And I remember saying, like, that's great, but where do you get hydrogen? And there was actually a station not that far away. But I think there was just the one.
You could do a meet and greet for the Mirai Owners Club there, couldn't you?
Right, we're all there anyway. Why don't we
meet at the station?
Somebody bring donuts.
Yeah.
You didn't get my bad hydrogen joke. Come on.
What was it?
Oh, wait, say it again.
I said, oh, the humanity.
Oh.
Nicely done. Very nice.
Hey,
well, maybe not so nice when you have to repeat yourself, but
No, we were just talking over you.
Prius taxi for Ryan, I think. Let's get him one ordered.
You know what I saw? I posted this to Instagram. I saw a street parked checker cab in Denver the other day.
Cool.
And
Really?
it was so cool to see. Yeah, I haven't seen one of those in years, but I'm just old enough to remember riding in, one or two as a kid, right? And they're huge. They're long. They've got the jump seats. It was just the last thing I expected to see in Denver, parked in the snow on the side of the street. But apparently there's an outfit. It's called denverchecker.com, and you can rent it for events and things. So I'm thinking the next time you two are in town.
Pikes Peak. Let's take it to Pikes Peek.
That'd be an
Wait, but
article.
can you nap in the back of it, though?
You can do whatever. You can
they're big on
make breakfast back there. I mean, it's huge. We can do our podcast back there. I mean,
wow.
It's
We're podcasting from the checker cab.
From the checker cab. Yeah, it's one iconic thing. Yeah,
that's really funny.
That's cool. So have we completely slaughtered the mid list now?
Yeah.
How many cars did we end up with? So I had Tesla Model 3, single motor.
Yeah.
The Toyota Prius, the old body, and the Ford Fusion. And then Ryan, you had
I had the Chrysler Pacifica and the CRV, but that Ford Fusion, that might be the most mid of the mid, even though only you had it. And then Dan, you had the Prius, you had the
Malibu,
and
the Chrysler Sebring.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's pretty mid.
I just saw one of those actually. I hadn't seen one in years, and I saw one on the road. It's crazy.
Again, talk about a highly inappropriately named vehicle, right?
Yeah.
The Sebring, but it's a thing they do.
It's all in the contrast, right? So so we had 7 total. That's a pretty fun list.
Yeah. Not as fun as the worst cars we've ever driven, but it's amazing how we all kind of, tuned in on the same kind of thing,
Yeah.
I think we all understood the assignment for sure.
Yeah.
That's really funny.
Next week, your favorite 67 car. That's,
yeah.
You joke, but I've just interviewed someone for a different podcast, and they had a 67 El Camino. I kid you not.
Okay.
Is it like in original condition? Is it restored? Like, what's the story?
They have owned it for 59 years.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So, yeah, look out for that podcast coming soon.
Yeah.
But it was the way that this gentleman, I guess, is an elderly gentleman, and he kept saying 67, and he knew what it was all about. So
Shark jumped. All right.
Yeah. That's how you know the kids are definitely not saying it anymore. That is really funny. I love it.
What else you guys got?
Well, Consumer Reports brought out their car reliability list, right?
That's right. And I wondered if you guys actually took Consumer Reports with a pinch of salt, or whether you would actually consult them. Like, would they have any influence if you were to buy a car? Would you look at that list?
I would. I mean, I have in the past.
Yeah.
And I think it's one of many factors when you're buying a car, especially because a lot of times you know you need a certain type of car. So you can't just go to the list and go like, what's the most reliable? And I'll just get that. But I've
But I
definitely used it to help decide like when you know you need like a pickup truck or whatever, then how are they rating the pickup trucks to decide in that, like for that ask, basically.
I would challenge you guys in terms of knowing what the list is now and knowing what's in last place. Before you saw that list, would you have got one, and would you still get one?
Yes.
So it's
And
in last
maybe,
place.
and
Let's explain this. Last
Yeah.
place
yeah,
is Rivian.
Yeah.
which is
It's a bit of a shocker.
unbelievable. Yeah.
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 I
I've
did
never
not
owned a
see that
Rivian, but
coming.
everyone I know that has owned one or owns one seems to love it. So,
Right.
bit of a surprise. It's a
Well, and
young
have you,
company, but
yeah, have you guys, have either of you ever known anybody who has had issues? Because they are more prevalent now. Everybody that I know, same thing, loves them. I was really impressed with the quality, the fit and finish. So I was very surprised to see it at the
do you,
bottom of the list.
do you wonder if it's mostly software stuff? Like
That
glitchy
would make
software
sense.
stuff that gets sorted out, but it isn't like, we're not talking about like,
Like things are
drivetrain stuff
breaking. Yeah.
necessarily. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
know they do updates without telling the owners.
Ah,
So
Surprise.
I think their model is that they send engineers out to your cars, right?
okay.
Yeah.
And they can do changes to the car, and I think as part of the contract, they don't have to tell you what they've done. So
Well,
it
and
could
do
be
they
software
do,
updates.
they
Well,
do
that's a
over the
little,
air updates too. So you
yeah.
just
Yeah,
wake up and the
and you've got an
software has
update.
updated.
Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it is weird. Like no one I know has ever complained about Rivian reliability,
No,
and
No.
yet
no.
this list, which they polled over 300,000 people, so
Yeah.
I guess
Yeah.
it has some level of statistical
Sure,
significance.
sure, sure.
Say that
I think
again.
I think there are still a lot of people that look to Consumer Reports. I think to this day they don't take anything from the companies, right? They review. I think they buy all the
Right.
vehicles and all that. I think there's something to that. Plus, I like Circles. They've got that system,
Yeah.
that kind of tells me what I need to know. But I will say I have referred to Consumer Reports, and now we've got to reach out to like Molly's cousin to get his login because we don't like pay for the subscription, and you have to be a member to look at this stuff, right?
It's a family share plan is what you're saying.
That's right. At least till they find us out like Netflix. But,
Right.
I would go there and I have for like washing machines and that kind of thing. But maybe I was going to say the stuff that doesn't have an enthusiast bent, but go look up washing machine collectors on YouTube because they're out there too. People have basements full of them and they have parties and they watch them go around. So
There's
there's
a
an
fan
enthusiast
base
scene
for
for washing
everything.
machines too. But, to me, a car is such an emotional purchase, right? So I think to your point, it would be one element of, but I want to hear from someone who's driven the car and, all that as well. So,
If you're listening and you've had a bad Rivian experience, let us know.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm really curious because, like you said, Dan, I mean, they do aggregate a lot of information, but I wondered, briefly, like, is it bad data? Just because you would think with the number of people that have them at this point, you would have started to hear stories about that. So,
Yeah.
Where's Tesla on this list?
Tesla
This is their most direct
number 9
competitor.
in the top
9.
10,
Huh.
which is good for them, right? You
Yeah,
hear
yeah.
more negative press around
Yeah,
them.
yeah, yeah.
I was going to
They've
say
got their
that's
robots
shocking.
doing quality control.
And I think we have to give the disclaimer here that there were some models, some brands that were excluded, right? Just out of numbers, right? So
Yep.
Alfa Romeo was not on this list, nor was Dodge, Fiat, Infiniti, Jaguar, Land Rover, Lucid, Maserati, Mini, Mitsubishi, Polestar, and Porsche. So I'm guessing had those been included, maybe things would have shifted around a little bit. Also, interestingly, both of the cars I own didn't make the list at all. So
Yeah,
That means you're
it's,
never going to have an issue.
that's
Right,
right.
you
They're
can be
perfect.
fine.
That's what that means. They're just going to work forever. You know what's interesting? Dodge isn't on there, but Ram is, which is one of the, family brands, I guess.
yeah,
Yeah.
Stellantis group car, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did they not sell enough Dodges? That's kind of crazy. That's in some company, some much more sort of obscure company. That's
Right.
the
It's
top-
interesting that Ram made it,
yeah.
but Dodge didn't.
Yeah. I guess
Top
it's all
5, 4 are Japanese, and
tracks.
the fifth is German.
Yeah.
Kia and is in there at number 10.
Yeah, that's a
But
little bit of a surprise.
I don't see Hyundai.
They're at
No.
12. It's kind of right in the middle.
So clearly, this survey was done before our friends in Porsche Colorado Springs bought their car.
That's true. That's true. Also, Mercedes-Benz, number 19, one above Lincoln.
Right.
So, there was a time that Mercedes-Benz would have been number one, done and done, and that's obviously no longer the case. Interesting. Again, what are the parameters? What are we measuring here? But interesting nonetheless.
It's always interesting to look at it.
I still like Rivian.
Yeah.
I'd still buy a Rivian.
Absolutely.
I know.
Absolutely. When that new, was it the R3, the little Lancia looking liftback comes out?
It's like 2 years out, though, isn't it? I think.
Yeah, that's a cool
There's one
thing.
in between that's coming out this year.
Yeah.
This is the smaller SUV.
The two,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. It's an interesting year, isn't it, for electric
Yeah,
SUVs?
it
Because
is,
you've got
it
that,
is.
you've got a Scout.
Yeah. Oh God, I love the Scouts. Those are cool too.
We got to see those up close at the auto show, and it was so
That's
much
right.
bigger than I expected. But
Yeah.
really cool.
The
Really
fact
well
that they've got their little engines on them, haven't they? So you can, if you've got an emergency, you can still use gas,
That's right.
which I love the idea of.
You could use that.
So I think you get like 500 miles range acclaimed
That's
with
that's
the
pretty
tank,
great.
and
Yeah.
so it sounds like it sounds like engineers have gone to that problem and solved it, right? What's the direct competiters? I guess it's Rivian.
Well, I
and
think Rivian is, I mean, with all the, the things that slide out and this and that and well, maybe that's it.
Have you seen the Rivian trucks? So the Rivian trucks have got a cargo hold that goes through the middle.
Yeah.
So there's an
Yeah.
option that you can get, which is a kitchen.
That's right.
Yeah, that slides out of there.
How cool is that?
But this is what I'm thinking. Like, what if one of the utensils didn't work right? Does this land you on Consumer Reports on the list of
Right. Like, what's
mean,
the threshold to be considered reliable or unreliable?
I mean,
Maybe
there's
it is
a
all just
lot
bad data.
more, right, that can go wrong on a car that's complicated, right? So
Right. Yeah. there's
people
more
used to say,
factors.
"Oh, I don't want to buy the electric, windows, or that's one more thing to break."
Or
Just
automatic seats. Well, it's another
Yeah.
motor that could break down.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna enjoy moving myself back and forth easily and not worry about it. Yeah. No, that's funny.
Consumer Reports for the win. So
Yeah.
What have we got coming up? Was there much coming up?
The rain has returned here, so the driving days may be few and far between again going forward for a bit.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Yeah.
What about you
I'm,
guys?
I'm supposed to do ice racing up in
wow.
Georgetown. Up in the mountains a little bit from Denver. I guess it depends on whether the ice will be icy. It depends on what the weather does. But I'm looking forward to that. Shout out to a friend of the show, Daryl Vaughn. If you listened back as far as the steering committee, he was a sponsor for a long time. He was our realtor,
Right.
that we would always talk about. And he picked up a second gen MR2. It was the car he wanted as a kid. And he's going to throw some snow tires in that thing, and we're going to go drive that around a frozen lake. So that should be fun.
That's amazing. I can't wait to
yeah,
Is
hear
pray
this
for me.
illegal ice racing?
Yeah. This is like a structured event, and I think it's actually a reservoir. So if you do fall through, I think it's only about 20 feet deep, so they can probably recover you.
It's ice cold
Probably.
water, Ryan. It's 20 feet deep. It doesn't matter if it's 10 feet deep.
And I like they can probably recover
They
you.
could probably,
Yeah.
it's
Perfect.
Yeah,
They're just pulling out a barky ice cube at this point.
Right.
He died doing what he loved.
Right.
Yes. Well, that sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah. What about you?
I got a couple of test drives next week, but I can't talk about it yet. But yeah, I got an interesting film shoot next week, so we'll
Very
see
cool.
how that goes. Drag strip and lots of different cars of different types. So when I can talk about it, I will, but it may not be for a few weeks.
Yes.
It's embargoed.
Yes,
Well, we're waiting with bated breath for
Yes,
the embargo to
yes.
lift, so you can share. You can share
Yeah.
with us.
I think that's a show, isn't it, guys?
I think
Indeed.
that it might be.
Yeah. So what is the phrase that pays?
That is, remember, always be driving, and go drive for me since I can't right now.
Yeah. If you're not in the Pacific Northwest, take a drive for Lindsay.
That's
And if you're in Colorado, do some ice with Ryan. And if you're in California, yeah, come hang out. It's I'm hopefully going to catch up with Jay Ryan soon. He's back in town.
Nice.
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah, hopefully
I
we'll
just
see
saw
him
that
this weekend.
there's another episode of the podcast, so we'll have to catch up. I'm sure he's talking about the tour.
Very cool.
Yeah,
Let's get him on
excellent.
soon,
Well,
huh?
until next week,
Yeah.
we've been That Car Show.
Thanks so much
guys.
for joining us.
That Car Show is brought to you by Sheffield Watches. Sheffield is the storied watchmaking brand that was revived a couple of years back by our good friend Jay Turkbus, and it's seen wild success in both the car and watch enthusiast communities. Sheffield offers a wide selection of watches, many inspired by the iconic designs of its 1960s dive models, most notably the one that Jay's parents gave him in 1970, which ignited his lifelong passion for watches. Sheffield watches are high quality, reasonably priced, and a great value. Sheffield has truly become the car guy and car gal's watch of choice. Order your Sheffield watch at SheffieldWatches.com. Give them a follow on the gram at Sheffield_allsport_watches and tell them That Car Show sent you.